Have you ever wondered how living organisms know what they need to survive and reproduce? From the tiniest bacteria to the massive whales that roam our oceans, all creatures possess an innate, built-in mechanism that guides their survival and reproduction. It's an intricate dance of nature, a fascinating system that's been honed by millions of years of evolution. But how does it work? How do organisms know what they need and when they need it? Stay tuned as we delve into the world of biology to unravel this mystery. To survive, every organism requires basic necessities such as food, water, and a suitable environment. This statement seems simple enough, yet the complexity behind it is mind-boggling. Let's delve into the concept of survival and the fundamental needs of living organisms. All living organisms, from the smallest bacteria to the largest blue whale, share these essentials. They need nourishment, a safe habitat, and the ability to reproduce. These necessities form the backbone of survival, enabling life to flourish in the most challenging environments. Food is the fuel that powers life. It provides the energy organisms need to perform every function, from the beating of a heart to the firing of neurons in the brain. But what constitutes food can vary dramatically. For a plant, food comes in the form of sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, which they use to create glucose through photosynthesis. For a predator like a lion, food is the flesh of other animals, hunted and consumed for its rich protein content. Water, the universal solvent, is another critical survival factor. It serves as a medium for chemical reactions, aids in temperature regulation, and is crucial for hydration. Yet the amount of water needed can vary. A camel, for instance, can survive without water for weeks in the desert, while a fish requires a constant supply of water to breathe and live. Lastly, a suitable environment is vital. Each species has a range of conditions under which it can survive. For a polar bear, this means the icy Arctic tundra, while a cactus thrives in the dry, arid desert. These habitats provide the right conditions for growth, reproduction, and ultimately survival. However, the needs of organisms don't stop there. They also require things like the right amount of light, the correct temperature, and even the appropriate type of soil or water. Each species has its unique set of requirements shaped by millions of years of evolution. But how do they know where to find these necessities? Let's find out. Living organisms have senses and receptors that help them detect their environment. This statement opens up an entire world of wonder, doesn't it? Well, let's delve into it. Imagine a world without sight, smell, touch, or the ability to detect electromagnetic fields. Sounds pretty dull, right? For most living organisms, these senses are vital for survival. They use them in various ways, such as locating food, avoiding danger, and finding mates. Let's start with sight. Sight is a primary sense for many species, especially those that are active during the day. Organisms with keen eyesight, such as eagles, can spot prey from miles away. On the other hand, nocturnal creatures like owls have adapted to see clearly, even in low-light conditions. Next, we have the sense of smell. Many animals rely heavily on their sense of smell. For instance, bears can detect a carcass from over 20 miles away, and dogs, well, we've all seen them follow a scent trail. This powerful sense helps them find food and avoid danger. Let's not forget about touch. Many organisms use touch to navigate their environment, especially those living in dark or murky habitats. The whiskers of a cat or the antennae of a cockroach help them detect obstacles and move around safely. Lastly, some creatures have senses that we humans can only dream of. Take the shark, for example. Sharks can sense electromagnetic fields generated by the movement of other creatures. This sense helps them locate prey, even when it's hiding under the sand. These senses didn't just appear out of nowhere. They evolved over millions of years, adapting to the needs of each species. The process of evolution, driven by natural selection, fine-tuned these senses, making each organism perfectly adapted to its unique environment. These senses, however, are just part of the story. Next, we will explore the role of instincts. So stick around as we continue our journey into understanding how living organisms know what they need to survive and reproduce. Instincts, are inborn behaviors that guide organisms towards survival and reproduction. They are the unseen puppeteers, pulling the strings of life, orchestrating a symphony of actions that ensure an organism's survival and continuation. Let's take a closer look at what we mean by instincts. Picture an innate automatic response that has evolved over countless generations. It's a behavior that doesn't need to be learned, it just happens, often in response to certain environmental cues. It's like a biological autopilot, steering organisms through the complexities of life. Now let's delve into some examples that beautifully illustrate this concept. Our first stop on this journey is the sky, where we find migratory birds. These birds, without any training or maps, embark on long, perilous journeys, sometimes covering thousands of miles from their summer homes to their winter retreats, and then back again. They navigate using the sun, the stars, and the Earth's magnetic field. It's an astonishing feat, and it's all driven by instinct. Next, we turn our attention to the humble spider, a master architect of the animal kingdom. Have you ever wondered how a spider knows how to spin a web? This intricate design, a marvel of natural engineering, is not something a spider learns. It's an instinct hardwired into their tiny brains. Our final example takes us to the rushing rivers where salmon spawn. These remarkable fish return to the exact spot where they were born to lay their own eggs. They navigate treacherous waters, leap up waterfalls, and evade predators, all driven by a powerful instinct to reproduce. But it's not just about survival. Reproduction is equally important. The dance of life is a delicate balance, and instincts play a crucial role in both the survival and reproduction of species. They guide organisms through the trials and tribulations of life, ensuring not just their own survival, but the continuation of their kind. A world without instincts is a world without life as we know it. Reproduction is essential for the continuation of a species. Life, in all its diverse forms, has developed an array of strategies to ensure its propagation, from the simplest of organisms to the most complex. Let's start with the microscopic world. Bacteria, for example, have one of the simplest strategies. They simply divide, creating two identical copies of themselves through a process called binary fission. This efficient and speedy method allows bacteria to rapidly colonize their environment, ensuring their survival. On the other end of the spectrum, we find the more complex organisms like birds and mammals that engage in elaborate mating rituals. Birds, for instance, are known for their vibrant displays of color and intricate dances. These displays are not just for show, they serve a purpose. They signal to potential mates that the performer is fit and healthy, increasing the chances of producing strong offspring. Mammals, too, have their own unique methods. Many mammals, such as deer, engage in combative displays to win the right to mate. These battles demonstrate strength and resilience, traits that will be passed on to the next generation, ensuring the survival of the species. Then, there are the plants. Plants reproduce through pollination, a process often assisted by insects, birds, or even the wind. The pollen, containing the plant's genetic material, is transferred from one plant to another, resulting in the creation of seeds. These seeds then grow into new plants, continuing the cycle of life. In all these cases, the drive to reproduce is not just about creating more of the same. It's about passing on the best traits, the ones that have allowed the organism to survive and thrive in its environment. This is the essence of evolution, of survival of the fittest. So, as we've seen, survival and reproduction are guided by a combination of senses, instincts, and behaviors. The drive to reproduce is not a conscious decision, but an instinctive response honed by billions of years of evolution to ensure the survival of life in all its beautiful and diverse forms. From sensing their environment to following their instincts, living organisms have fascinating ways of ensuring their survival and reproduction. We've journeyed through the captivating world of biological survival, exploring how various life forms harness their senses, instincts, and unique behaviors to navigate the complexities of existence. We began with a deep dive into the basics of survival, understanding how organisms from the smallest microbe to the largest mammal constantly strive to meet their fundamental needs of food, water, and shelter. We then delved into how organisms sense their environment, utilizing a stunning array of sensory mechanisms to gather vital information about their surroundings, from light and temperature to the presence of potential threats or resources. Our exploration led us to the power of instincts, those inherent behavioral patterns that guide organisms towards survival and away from danger. We saw how these pre-programmed responses, honed over countless generations through the process of natural selection, help organisms navigate their environments and respond to challenges in real time. Finally, we explored the drive to reproduce, a fundamental force that ensures the continuity of life. We saw how organisms, driven by this powerful instinct, engage in complex behaviors, from mating dances and courtship rituals to intricate strategies for raising and protecting offspring. So the next time you see a bird flying south for the winter or a flower blooming in spring, remember, it's all part of nature's incredible design for survival and reproduction.